If you still have bags of leaves sitting around from fall, don't throw them out. In this video, I'm going to show you how I turned those bagged leaves and a little army of worms into rich, dark black gold in just 14 days. This is an easy way to clean up your yard, feed your worms, and create some of the best organic matter you can put back into your garden beds. And the best part is, you can start this even in winter, as long as you can keep your worms from freezing. So let me walk you through exactly what I did, step by step, so you can copy this system at home. Most of us have the same problem. Big, bulky bags of leaves from fall cleanup. Maybe they're stacked behind the shed, maybe they're in the garage, or maybe they're still on the side of your driveway waiting to be hauled away. They take up space, they get in the way, and if they sit too long, they just turn into a compacted, soggy mess. But those bags are actually a gold mine. Leaves are one of the best free resources for gardeners. They're full of minerals, they improve soil structure, and worms absolutely love them when they're prepared the right way. Instead of sending those bags off to the landfill or letting them rot in the corner, I decided to feed them to my worms and see how fast I could turn them into usable material. My goal was 14 days, and I'll show you exactly what I did to get as close to that as possible. I started by choosing and opening the bags. These were regular bagged leaves from fall cleanup, mostly dry brown leaves that had been raked up and stuffed into bags. If your bags have a little bit of grass or a few twigs mixed in, that's fine, but try to avoid bags full of sticks, rocks, or trash. When you open your bags, pay attention to how the leaves look and feel. Are they bone dry and crispy, or already a little damp and starting to break down? Dry leaves are perfectly fine, but we'll have to add more moisture later. If they're already partially decomposed, that will actually speed things up. I dumped my leaves into a big bin or tote so I could break them up before they went into the worm bin. The more surface area we can give the worms and the microbes, the faster the whole process will be. Next, I focused on shredding and sizing the leaves. Worms don't have teeth. They rely on bacteria and fungi to start the breakdown process, and then they slurp up the softened material. That means the smaller the leaf pieces, the faster the worms can work. You can shred your leaves a few different ways. Run over them with a mower before bagging, use a leaf shredder, or just crush them by hand. I like to grab big handfuls and crumble them, breaking up the big intact leaves. You don't have to get them perfect, but try to avoid huge, flat leaves that can mat together and block airflow. For this batch, I spent a few minutes crumbling and mixing until I had a nice fluffy leaf mix with pieces about the size of a quarter or smaller. Now let's talk about where the magic happens. The worm bin. You can use a plastic tote, a homemade wooden box, a commercial stacking system, or even a modified trash can with drainage and air holes. The important thing is that you have drainage at the bottom, air coming in from the sides and top, and a way to keep things moist, but not soaking wet. For this 14-day challenge, I used a bin that already had an active worm population. That's important, because if you're starting with brand new worms, they need some time to adjust and settle in. I recommend starting with a bin that already has worms, some bedding, and some partially decomposed material. I pulled back the top layer of bedding and food so I could add my leaf mix in layers, instead of just dumping a huge pile on top of the worms. Think of it like building a lasagna for your worms. Leaves are high in carbon, which is great, but worms and microbes work even better when you balance that carbon with a little bit of nitrogen, or greens. For this project, my main goal was to use bagged leaves, but I did add a few things to speed the process along. I mixed in a small amount of kitchen scraps like coffee grounds and vegetable peels, a handful of already finished worm castings from the bottom of the bin, and a light sprinkle of a mineral source like crushed eggshells or garden lime for grit and pH balance. I started with a thin layer of moist bedding at the bottom, some old shredded paper and older compost from the bin. Then I added a layer of shredded leaves about 2 to 3 inches thick. On top of that, I sprinkled a little bit of kitchen scraps and castings, then added another layer of leaves, and kept repeating that pattern. The idea is to mix in just enough greens and living compost to inoculate those dry leaves with microbes. The microbes will explode in population, and the worms will follow the microbes. Moisture and temperature are critical for this to work in 14 days. Dry leaves will just sit there and do nothing. Once I finished layering, I checked the moisture level. You want it like a wrung-out sponge, damp, but not dripping. If your leaves are dry, add water slowly using a watering can or a spray bottle and mix as you go. I like to pick up a handful, squeeze it, and see if I get just a drop or two of water. That's perfect. If water pours out, it's too wet. If it's crunchy and dusty, it's too dry. In winter, temperature matters just as much. Worms are happiest between about 55 and 77 degrees Fahrenheit. If your bin is outside and it's freezing, the worms will slow down or die. For this 14-day project, I kept my bin in a protected area where the temperature stayed above freezing, somewhere like a garage, shed, basement, or enclosed porch. The pile of leaves itself will also generate a little bit of heat as it starts to break down, which helps the worms stay active. Once the bin was layered, moist, and at a reasonable temperature, I let the worms do their job. Letting them work doesn't mean completely ignoring them, though. Over the 14 days, I checked the bin every few days. I looked to see if the top layer was drying out, and if it was, I misted it with a little water. I gently pulled back the surface to see whether worms were moving up into the leaf layers. If I saw worms threading through the leaves, that told me they were comfortable and actively feeding. I also paid attention to smell. A worm bin should smell earthy, like a forest floor. If it smells sour or rotten, that usually means there's too much food, it's too wet, or there isn't enough airflow. If things looked too wet and compacted, I gently fluffed the top layers with my hand to add air. If it looked dry, I added a little water and sometimes a thin layer of damp shredded paper on top to hold in the moisture. By day 7 or 8, I started to see a big difference. Those crisp leaf pieces were softening, darkening and shrinking. Instead of intact leaves, I saw more crumbly material, and the worms were all through it. At the 14-day mark, I dug into the bin to see what we had. Was everything finished and sifted like store-bought worm castings? No. But a surprising amount of those bagged leaves had been transformed. Instead of light, papery leaves, I saw darker, richer material with lots of small, crumbly bits. There were still some leaf veins and a few tougher pieces visible, but overall the texture had changed dramatically. The bin was full of worms, worm cocoons, and signs of healthy microbial life. This is what I like to call working black gold. It's not 100% finished castings, but it's a beautiful, partially processed blend of leaves, microbes, and worm castings, perfect as a mulch or as an ingredient in a potting or garden mix. If you want pure, sifted worm castings, you can absolutely let this go longer than 14 days. But if your goal is to quickly turn bagged leaves into something your garden can use, this 14-day process gives you a wonderful, living soil amendment. So how do you actually use this black gold in your garden? One of my favorite ways is as a top dressing around perennials, shrubs, and fruit trees. You can spread a 1 to 2 inch layer around the drip line and let the worms in your soil pull it down over time. You can also use it as a mulch in vegetable beds before planting, laying it down over the soil surface and then covering it with a thin layer of straw or regular compost. It also works beautifully mixed into potting soil. Combine it with regular compost and a base mix to give seedlings and container plants a nutrient-rich, biologically active boost. Because this material still has some structure from the leaves, it improves drainage and aeration while also feeding the soil life. If you want to try your own 14-day leaf and worm project, keep a few key ideas in mind. Start with an active worm bin if you can, because more worms and more microbes mean faster results. Shred or crumble your leaves to increase the surface area and prevent them from matting. Add just enough nitrogen in the form of kitchen scraps or aged manure to kickstart microbial activity, but don't overload the bin with food. Keep the moisture at that wrung-out sponge level and protect your bin from freezing temperatures in winter. Most importantly, be patient and observe. If it takes you 21 days instead of 14, that's still much faster than bags of leaves sitting untouched for months, and you'll learn a lot about how your particular setup behaves. Every yard, every climate, and every worm bin is a little different, so use this as a starting point and adjust based on what you see in your own system. If you found this helpful and you want to see more ways to turn waste into black gold for your garden, make sure to give us a like and subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty of videos on composting, vermicomposting, and building healthy living soil for your organic garden. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.